Welcome to the Civic Pulse. It's Sunday, August 23rd. I'm here with David Bonior and also Ed Bruley in Michigan. They're at the Black Cat Cafe in Mount Clemens. It's pretty cool that we have you live on site in a very important election site. Ed, I've known you for about 10 years, and David has known you for about maybe 40 or 50, but let me introduce you real quick. You are a congressional aide that listened to the community and worked with David to serve the people of Michigan for 26 years. You were also a local public official yourself on the school board and a county commissioner. And now you focus on nonprofit community development. So you guys have a long history together and both have a long history of public service. And you're both brilliant political organizers. So it's fun to have you in a Mount Clemens cafe. And Mount Clemens is Macomb County, right? The swingest district in the country, right? So it's fun to see you both. How are you both doing today? How's the food at the Black Cat?
I'm just eating a chocolate croissant and finishing up. I'm sorry that I'm doing that on air, but anyway,
It's your show.
Very good. It could not have sat in front of me for the whole period that we're going to talk without me wanting.
Did Judy approve of that chocolate croissant?
Judy doesn't know, and she will be watching it later when I'm hopefully a little slimmer.
Ed, what are you eating over at the Black Cat?
Nothing. I'm just waiting for the show to go. But I think we have to do a note here, historical note.
Yeah.
This year, this August, is the 50th anniversary of David's triumph in the Democratic primary as a state representative, winning a decisive victory in a primary. It's very important.
That was for Congress.
For Congress.
For Congress. And Ed, were you running in that primary?
I was running alongside of David.
Alongside.
We had a friend, Jim, who was running it, but I was very much involved in the process, yes.
Oh, great. Did you ran, if my memory serves, you ran against David at one point in time, right?
Well, how we met was that we both ran for state representative. He was older and wiser. I was younger and much more definitive.
It's pretty cool that you guys formed this political partnership for 40 years after that.
And we actually did it right after the election. And between the election and January, when I was sworn in, we got together and we actually did a trip sort of together, taking buses of people to Washington to demonstrate against the war and Nixon.
Well, it shows that when people come together on common cause, even after decisive primaries that can be seen to be kind of out there, you can still win. We have the ability this year to win and bring the country back to a more sensible path of listening to people who live in Mount Clemens in small communities all across the country.
Yeah, no, that's a really wonderful, example you two set, because you both did amazing things, in Congress. And as David knows, I was a young idealistic kid in 86, interning for Tom Downey. And David was one of my heroes because he was trying to end that war and the organizing the staff was doing around ending the wars in Central America and Reagan's illegal action. So it makes me think of, I'm going to zig a little here, that we had a Florida race primary where you had an upset winner in the Senate race, Angie Nixon, and immediately Vindman backed her and has pumped money into it and completely has taken the high road since he got trounced by Nixon unexpectedly. What do you guys think of that Florida race and anything to learn from what happened there?
Well, I think there's one thing you can learn. Vindman is a very good person, and he's had a really good career. But he outspent her 16-1, as I recall reading.
Yeah.
I actually gave him some money, but it takes more than TV ads. You've got to be organized, and it actually helps to live in the area for a decent period of time before you run. And I think those were some of the things he had to fight. And she was very, appeared to me from what I've read, I don't know her, she was well organized with the ground campaign and some other things. And so she won the race.
Ed, any thoughts on the Florida race?
I live in Michigan. I was not in Florida, and I don't want to comment on something I'm not aware of.
I just got to say, I was fired up by listening to her acceptance speech. Sometimes you see a politician for the first time, and you're just like, oh, this person might have real game, like high level. It's similar when you see some of the, Abdul running in Michigan. It's just a high level, at least rhetorical game, right? Let's move to the big topic that people are talking about in Michigan and the U.S. and Canada right now. We have officially a trade war. Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, refused to sign on to a lot of last-second demands that the Trump administration put in. And now we have 50% tariffs going up on Canadian goods, and Canada is going to respond similarly. How are people reacting in Michigan? What do you two, Ed, I'm going to call on you first. What are people thinking about this trade war, and how's it playing out in Michigan?
We don't have this trade war started today. People here have been well aware and have watched the dynamic of Trump versus Canada.
Mm-hmm.
There are many people like myself. My grandfather immigrated from Canada to come to Detroit on one side of my family. On the other side of my family were French and called French Canadians who have been here for 300 years. We do not see Canada as the enemy. We see Canada as cousins.
Yeah.
And we have survived in this area together, not as antagonistic foes of each other. We fought wars together as cousins. And he, the president, is dividing families. This is a personal thing. There's the economic piece of it, and that gets overblown by the quote unquote experts. But in Maine, northern New Hampshire, Michigan, and all along the most peaceful border in the world, is divided families. You have to bring all these issues down to the community level. That's first and foremost. And this is a terrible mistake he's made. Terrible mistake.
David, any thoughts on this as well?
Well, yes. Just to underscore what Ed said about bringing a sense of community together. One of the things we did when I was in office in the Congress for 26 years is we're on the border with Canada here. Port Huron, and it's right across the river from Lambton and Sarnia. And so we developed through Ed's idea, Peace and Friendship Days with Canada.
Oh, I love it.
So we went over and we talked to their leaders and local governments and other cultural and educational institutions, and they thought that was a great idea. So we ended up meeting annually. Our Independence Day and their Day of Independence were quite close together, a couple of days apart. So we would meet with 1 year in Canada, 1 year in the United States, and we developed relationships. So it allowed us to work together on issues, for instance, building the new span of the Blue Water Bridge. That was an idea that came, from the ground up, from those kinds of meetings.
Yeah.
And we went forward with that, and the new rail tunnel, and other clean water issues, which are really critical for this area here. And allowed us to do that. So yeah, the president bashing of Canada his immaturity in how he did it and what he did is having tremendous repercussions. Their tourism into the United States is down 25%.
That's insane.
Larger than any country that we do tourism with. And products, they don't carry a lot of products in the shelves in these stores there anymore because of their antagonism that Trump has created with them. So, and that's, being played out now again, being brought up again, the 51st state and all those insults. And now through this economic piece that he's decided to pursue, we're going to have continued problems in lumber, electronics, and other areas where we do trade with them. So automobiles, of course, for us is just critical, and it could have a negative impact on that, although the Canadian-American Mexican agreement maybe would supersede what he's doing.
Ed, how is this issue and what you have a very highly contested Senate race and governor's race happening right now? What are the issues that you think will tip the tide in those two races? We have El Sayed running against I'm having a brain cramp here. Who's he?
Running against a gentleman who lives in Florida, who should have run for the Senate in Florida, because he has a McMansion that he lives in there, and he's only come back here to visit us now that he sees an opportunity. The guy moved to Florida, his whole family, and then he wants us to believe he wants to represent us.
Mike
but
Rogers,
he will not live with us.
Yeah.
He will not live with us. He doesn't want to be in my neighborhood. He wants to go to D.C. and then go back to vacation in Florida on his time off. He does not want to represent Michigan. There's no question about who should be in the Senate. The issue in this election is Trump. And whether we return to a sensible, positive path for our families economically, and whether we're able to develop communities in a reasonable way.
I see that Rogers is backtracking. There's on data centers here, which used to be, people used to want these big data centers in their states and proud of the jobs. And now everyone's running away from it, including Mike Rogers. And David, your old friend Sherrod Brown looks like he might win the Senate race in Ohio because of this issue.
A lot of people could do very well because of this issue from just a partisan political perspective here. The Democrats got on this one very early, and they're organized all over the country to take on the data center issue. It's an issue which it deals with economics because of expenses and costs. It's an issue that deals with intrusion into people's lives, all this collection of data.
Yeah.
An environmental issue, water to cool the data centers is a huge, huge issue. And so, yes, I think it's neighborhoods all over the country, people are organizing against it. And as they are starting to organize against artificial intelligence, at least to make sure we have the correct bumpers there, regulations there to proceed.
So Rogers, you mentioned his position. He is not against data centers. He merely wants to delay talking about them for 6 months. The same thing the Republicans did when cutting people's health care. They cut the health care, but they don't want it to come into effect until after the election. When Medicaid and Medicare is going to be cut for millions of Americans. He's the same way. He merely wants it delayed until after November. He has never said, I'm against it. He merely wants a couple months delay. We and our Senate nominee clearly know that it's up to the individual community putting the safeguards on anything that should come or be built within it.
Yeah, Abdul El Sayed, who I have the privilege of getting to know a little bit and campaigned for him in his primary, he has talked very strongly about this. It's a very important issue for him and for the state. So people should listen closely to both of them and what they say on this and how they say it. And as Ed has pointed out, when they say it. And they should be questioned about the implications of this for their community, for our environment, and all the other issues that surround this really explosive issue that I think will bring a lot of people into office and maybe take a few out.
Seems like a swing issue. Ed, Haley Stevens won the majority of black voters in Michigan. Why did that happen? And then do you think Abdul can gain their confidence and win that?
I can't comment on why it happened. I can comment that it did happen. And I think it is eminently resolvable.
Mm-hmm.
I think campaigns matter. And I think Haley made it matter in her campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And people responded. When communities are visited, when they're listened to, they respond. And in our political time, we sometimes misstepped, and we had to go back and listen. And when you listen, people know that you care.
Mm-hmm.
So listening is the key component. It isn't them not hearing you, it's you not hearing them. And that has to be the basis of any campaign. With the presidential election a couple years ago, we as Democrats did not listen.
Mm-hmm.
There were many issues out there that we could have taken advantage of, and we did not listen. It's not the fault of people not hearing us. It's our fault we didn't listen.
That's powerful. And so if you were running Abdul's campaign or advising him, would you say do some events that are not on TV, get behind the scenes a little bit more and just do some listening and not be as performative? Or would you say just do a both and strategy like in Detroit?
Well, I think he's doing pretty good. I love the commercial that they have on with his grandparents.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about family. And it's not hard to understand, but when you get in the climate of restricted time, you have only so many days, you have all these people pulling at you, you have to become the master of that. You can't let the forces of consultants and others dominate you. You have to be the master, and you have to never forget to go to the local places and touchstones where people will understand that you know what they think and feel and listen to them.
Well,
And that's what this guy did.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, time to time, every one of us, we get off base a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But we could always come back and sort of figure it out and get it reestablished.
That's fast. I mean, because you two won races when Reagan was winning in a very swing area that even tilted a little red. And was that and similarly through the 90s? And I mean, you consistently won how many races in a row? 23 races in a row?
Well, we had 13 terms, so that's
20.
26 if you count a primary. So, 26 races.
26 races. Yeah. It seems
Yeah,
like
in a couple of them, we came close. because we missed it. And we were a little bit lucky on some, but then we figured it out again. I always say life is 90% recovery. We're
Recovery.
all going to make mistakes. We're all going to miss it here and there. It's how you recover from that matters. Not that you did it, but how you, and everybody can recover. Everyone has that possibility. And I think you just got to figure it out, and you have to humble yourself a bit and figure it out.
I'm going to steal that line, Ed. That's a brilliant line. I hope you don't mind me stealing that and saying it the rest of my life. 90% recovery. Hey, last topic today. I think I don't want to jinx us. I think there's a decent shot that we're going to win the House. Very decent. And a decent shot we have a chance to win the Senate. So Democrats could be in charge of Congress. A story in today's New York Times had Hakeem Jeffries meeting with Jared Kushner, Mr. $2 billion investment from Saudi Arabia guy, to start to plan what that could look like and how to basically what issues they could work together on was the story. David, you were a whip, you were in Democratic leadership. Would you have taken that meeting if you were in Jeffries' seat today?
Well, let me just say this about Jeffries had a prior relationship with Kushner.
Yeah.
He worked closely with him during the first administration. So that's something he probably wanted to preserve.
Criminal justice issues and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I can understand having a dialogue with him because it's going to be important at some point down the road, or it could be important. But would I have done that publicly and now? Probably not. I think it could have been maybe handled better, certainly after the election. But I think they wanted to get a jump on the election. I don't know what was in their mind, but for some Democrats, it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good that he's meeting with a guy like Kushner. So I'm not going to jump all over him because I think he's going to end up being the next speaker.
And the speaker's got to meet with everybody.
And you got to meet with everybody. So
it's like that's not the problem, right?
Yeah.
It's what you do
when you meet.
It's not meeting. Mm-hmm. Everyone, you get to be in these positions, you need to meet with everyone. You need to have a bridge. That doesn't mean you agree with everyone. Or you do what they say. You have a firm program of what you're going to do. But you can meet with anyone. It's not an issue.
And, even Pelosi get along with Trump at all. And they didn't like each other. But they, because they were in these important positions, they saw the need to at least keep trying to improve what is sometimes a hopeless situation, but nevertheless, it's important for the people that they're trying to represent.
I think it doesn't please probably the angry left here that they met, but you two have been in politics long enough to know that at some point you got to talk. You either talk or you shoot, right? And I think Kushner, even though we don't like him, does seem to be a rational human. And
I wouldn't go that far. That's where you start to get in trouble when you characterize these people. You can meet with them, but you have to be wary and smart.
Yes, yeah. No, I'm just comparing him to his father-in-law, who seems to have no rationality to him, and could try to order the military to go take ballots in Michigan this fall, right? So I do wonder if there's a little counterswim by Jeffrey saying, "Hey, we're not gonna, we're maybe not. Impeachment won't be the first thing we do." Almost a back channel to keep the crazy response to this election from Trump.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually even worried about when the Democrats win, if they do, and I think they will. I just hope we don't spend overly too much time on investigations. Now, I
Okay.
know that's going to trouble people hearing that, some people anyway, in my party, but, I want to get things done. And investigations, well, they have a purpose, keep people accountable. They don't move the ball. They create animosity, and if you don't do them well and smartly, and you've got to be able to do other things as well as just you can't just do investigations.
Yes. Yeah. That.
Absolutely. Investigations do not provide jobs. Investigations do not feed families. Investigations do not get health care. We want accountability, clear, quick accountability. But the best thing we can do is provide jobs, get the economy in the right space, get our allies back and apologize for what we've done and put those things back on track. People in South Korea, Republic of Korea, are not looking for an investigation. They want a partner,
Yeah.
and they have been a good partner to us. We need to appeal to the American Korean community. We need to say we're going to be the partner. We have opportunity here. Talk and listen.
You guys are wiser than me because I'm all about investigating. I'm so angry. But I hear your wisdom, and I am gonna dial it back some because I look up to both of you. Um, hey, last question. Let's end on Mount Clemens, Ed. Walking. If I was gonna walk around Mount Clemens today, um, what are people feeling and talking about politically? Uh, where are the Mount Clemens voters at right now?
Well, Michigan, is in a state because of these trade negotiations, or
Mhm.
lack thereof, of anxiety. I mean, our economy is built on compatibility with Canada and Mexico. We have to resolve the impediments that we have between the three and open opportunities for all of us. This is not a zero sum game. This is making my cousin have a job in Windsor and my other cousin have a job in Sterling Heights.
Yeah.
And this so called border is historically but artificial. And so we need to think together. We need to learn together. And I think people are apprehensive, very apprehensive. We need to lessen that. It's not healthy for all of us to be in this constant state of nonsense by this person who knows what he thinks he is. He's called a president, but just, he's lost it. He's just lost it. No boundaries. You wouldn't want him. You wouldn't want to have him at your dinner table. He would not be a good guest.
Or his assistant Natalie. We don't need her there either. We made it the whole show until now without bringing up her name. I'm impressed with our sophistication here. David Axelrod would be pleased. Hey, I wish you two were president and vice president. We'd have a lot of good things
No,
happen.
you don't. No, you don't. No. We can do some things, but
a
not
lot
that.
of a lot of wisdom you shared today, though. This is wonderful. Well, thank you for making time. Tell me real quick, what are you guys up to today?
Well, one of our supporters and his family has a memorial this afternoon. We're going to that as soon as we're finished here, northern part of our district near Richmond. And So their son, who was in our campaigns working, he had muscular dystrophy, MS, and he passed away just recently. So we're going to go up to that.
What's his name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yeah. And mother's name is Judy, and his brother is Jason, and they were all great supporters of ours. So we'll do that, and then afterwards, we're going to go out to dinner.
Oh,
Judy is with me, so she's going to join us. We're here in Michigan together.
Well, hope you have a nice service. It's great to see two of my favorite public servants in one diner in Mount Clemens today. And thanks for making time.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.